Good morning, you guys. Welcome back to Belly Acres Kitchen. It's been a while since I've recorded anything in the kitchen. Have you guys ever watched a video on TikTok or YouTube Shorts of the recipe videos and you think, man, that looks really good and that's super easy? You know, one of those, go to the grocery store and buy frozen this and prepared that and dump it all in the crock pot and it looks amazing and it's super easy. So I was down a rabbit hole this morning and somebody posted Swedish meatballs and they looked so good. We're gonna start with making our meatballs. So I have roughly maybe 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds, probably 2 pounds of hamburger here. So we buy our hamburger in bulk and then we sort it into smaller bags. And Mom flattened this out for us, so then that way it's super easy to defrost. But it's about 2 pounds of hamburger. You guys, next year we're going to be making our own hamburger because we're going to get in the beef market. I just feel it. I just know it. Everybody makes meatballs different. Make your favorite meatball. I'll show you how I make my meatballs. One of the things that I'm gonna do a little bit different, I grew up making it, we grew up making them this way with the crackers. Normally I do breadcrumbs. I'll toast bread, I'll run it through the Ninja. I've got some great, put some different seasonings in it. I'm not gonna do that. We're just gonna use saltine crackers. It works just the same. You just need a binding agent. Okay, so I've got hamburger meat. I am going to do 1 egg, and it is a farm fresh egg, so we're gonna break it into a small bowl first. Okay, and it looks good. I'm gonna put some garlic in it. I had bought some garlic at Sam's. It came in a big bag. I minced a whole bunch up and put it in a jar and stuck it in the fridge. That makes life a lot easier. I'm about out, so I'm just going to use all this garlic. Seems like a lot, but we like garlic, and garlic is good for you. So, looks like I'm going to have to buy some more. You can buy minced garlic at the grocery store, but if you have your own, it makes it really good. I have half of an onion, finely diced. And then I'm going to go ahead and add some seasoning in this. I'm going to do some salt. I'm going to do some regular pepper. I'm going to do some cumin. Kind of mix that around. You can use a spoon or you can use your hand. I've found to make meatballs, it's so much easier to just use your hand and get all of that stuff mixed together. Get that egg all broke up. Mix all those seasonings in. Okay, before I finish that, I'm gonna go ahead and turn on my skillet here. You guys, we are still working in this kitchen using electric skillets and all because we still do not have a stove or walls. We're cooking in the non-kitchen. Want to put enough oil in there to be able to roll these things around a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to take a regular can of tomato sauce. Normally we have our own tomato sauce because we can it, but we did not have a garden this year because we were moving. I'm going to put about half of that can and see where we're at. That's mixing up really nicely. Smells amazing. All right, so we've got, it's good. It's got a good consistency to it. I'm not going to put any more of the tomato sauce, but I am going to go ahead and put the crackers in there, so then that way it'll kind of bind together. I'm not going to need a whole sleeve of these crackers, so I'm going to just crush about half of these. I just go ahead and crush it in the sleeve. Just makes it easier. Crush those crackers really good. These are just plain regular saltines. Open this up. Hold on to the full ones and dump these in. About what that looks like. Now we're just going to mix those up. We just want those meatballs to stay together. Now something I like to do with the meatballs, if I have it on hand, is to add a little bit of Parmesan cheese. Just kind of brings that flavor up a little bit. And it can also act as a binding agent. All right. So if you want uniform meatballs, you can get yourself a spoon and you can measure it out, but I'm not that concerned about it. I don't want them to be super big because I do want them to fry. So I'll probably make them about that big. Okay. And then I'm just going to set these right here in the oil. The oil is already hot. I've got that oil set about 350. I can probably crank it up a little bit, but you want to make sure the inside of the meatball gets done. So you don't want to have it too hot, because then the outsides get all good and crispy and the inside is nice and raw. So we want to make sure. So while those meatballs are frying up really nicely, the thing about meatballs is you don't want to turn them until they're completely brown on the bottom, or they will fall apart. We're going to go ahead and start getting everything in the crock pot for this recipe. Now, while looking through everything, the ingredients I was wanting, I didn't have any Worcestershire sauce, as Cindy from Pathway says, but I got some teriyaki sauce, so hey, it's another spin on it. This is how things evolve in the kitchen. So first we want a can of condensed mushroom soup. Here's my little hack, you guys. Can of cream soup, turn it over, pop a hole in the bottom of it, just a small little hole. Then when you open it, it slides right out. You're breaking that seal, you're breaking that vacuum. It'll just, the whole thing just slides right on out of there. Okay? So we've got cream of mushroom. I'm gonna do, hey, we're flying by the seat of our pants here, okay? This is beef bouillon. So here we go, 2 teaspoons of beef bouillon. What you have to remember about these bouillon mixes is that, 1, they're packed with flavor. 2, they are very, very salty. So you want to be super easy about putting these in because you will make it way too salty. We're also going to do 1 pack of Lipton onion soup mix. Just going to dump that right in, right on top. And then instead of a quarter cup of Worcestershire, we're going to do a 1/4 cup of teriyaki. This is going to change the whole flavor palette. We're going to have some teriyaki meatballs is what we're going to have. And then I'm not going to put the tablespoon of ketchup in there. That was if we had Worcestershire. I'm going to put a little bit of soy sauce. Let's do soy sauce. Did you say a tablespoon? Teaspoon. Calls for light soy sauce. I don't think I buy anything light ever. So again, just be aware of the salt because a lot of these mixes that we're putting in there already have a lot of salt. So now that we have that all in there, we're just going to mix it together. I may have to do another can of soup because I'm going to have a lot of meatballs and that's not very much soup. Meatballs, I may have given them a little bit too much time on one side. They're a little bit on the darker side. I was paying too much attention over here. All right, so we've made room for more meatballs. Okay. Back to this, I'm going to go ahead and put 1 more can of cream of mushroom soup. I'm going to set this aside. I use a pasta spoon. I'm going to drain them on a piece of paper. Those got really, really done on one side, so I really need to pay attention. I'm going to let those drain, get all of the grease out of there before I go putting them in that soup mix over there. All right, so let's keep an eye on these here. Yeah, this is cooking a lot faster than I expected it to. The good thing is that the middles are not completely cooked. It's okay because they're going to go into this crock pot on low for about 6 hours, so everything's going to cook down really well. All right, you guys, so I've got my mixture here. I've got my meatballs. They have drained. I'm going to go ahead and dump the meatballs in this mixture, and I'm going to just mix those up. I don't want my meatballs to fall apart, so just going to kind of easily mix them. They're starting to fall apart, so we're just going to leave them just like that. I forgot 2 cups of water in that mixture. That's why it was so thick. But we're gonna do 2 cups of water.
And you're going to let it cook.
And then we just let it cook. Mix that in. The reason I forgot the water is the recipe calls for beef broth.
Oh.
Well, where I don't have beef broth, I use beef bouillon. So I have to make my broth. So 2 cups of water. All right, that looks much better. Just kind of mixing that in. And then we will cook this on low for about, we'll check on it in about 4 hours, but it'll probably be 4 to 6 hours because really everything in here is cooked. We just want all those flavors to marry in. Okay, guys, so we are back at the house. It is probably 7 hours later. I'm really concerned, but no, it's looking okay. Might be a little overcooked on the top. Oh, it smells amazing, you guys. All right, I'm just gonna make some noodles and get those put in here and we'll see what happens. Okay, so I've got some water in my Instant Pot. I just have it on saute. That will actually boil. All right, you guys, so we don't have any egg noodles and I did not stay home to make any today. So I am going to use bow tie noodles. My water is already boiling. I'm just gonna dump the whole package in there and we're gonna let those boil and then we'll add them to our meatballs. Okay guys, so I did a taste test on this and it was plenty salty. So I know that next time I make this, I do need to slow down on some things, but these are not meatballs, these are potatoes. So anytime you have a soup or a savory dish that comes out too salty, don't be scared. Woo, that's hard. Don't be scared to cut a potato in half and put it in there and just let it cook with it. Something you can get out pretty easy because it will pull the salt out of there. All right, so I have bow tie pasta. I am going to, I should, you know, technically drain this, but you know, this will work too. With as salty as that is, it won't hurt for a little bit of pasta water to get in there with it. Stir that together really nicely. Look at that. Ho ho ho. That is coming together. This is definitely a good winter meal. Can you know that? Mm-hmm. It's not winter yet, but we can play. We have thunderstorms coming in this evening. Does that count?
It's moisture.
Let it rain, let it rain. We need it, we need it. May have to get a different spoon to get the rest of these little bow ties out of here. Kind of hanging out here at the bottom. All right, that pasta will also pull away from that saltiness. I did salt the water, but not excessively, so that should pull away. You guys, look at that. Look at these. Meatballs. Woo! All right, you guys, so I'm gonna dump a little bit of parsley in there. Parsley is one of the things that I did not grow this year. I grew thyme and rosemary, but I did not grow any parsley. But oh my goodness, that looks amazing. Look at this. That is gonna be so good. And I'm making some croissant rolls and also a salad to go with it. The salads just kind of take away from the heaviness of this meal. And we will check in here in a little bit and give it a taste test, see what everybody thinks. Guys, so moment of truth. So we've got the Swedish meatballs and noodles, and the big salad with pepperoncinis, and then we have some rolls. What are you thinking? Is it terrible?
Give me your plate.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
All right. Well, it's kind of a heavy meal, you guys, but
Kind of a heavy guy, though.
yeah, I think it'll be good with the salad on the side. Just kind of lighten it up. All right, you guys, I hope you like our videos. If you do, please hit the like button.
Subscribe if you haven't already.
Yep, share with your friends.
Leave us some comments, you guys. We know you got a lot to say. Rachel has been putting these things together. And again, she's outdone herself. But most of all, don't forget to smash that bell and to notify the next new video when it comes out.
Yep, until next time, you guys. God bless.
See ya.